Many parents will recognize this. Many will also never talk out loud about it, most likely out of shame and or guilt. I'm talking about anger, rage, directed at your young child. Anger out of frustration, exhaustion, insecurity, feeling triggered because, for example, constant crying, not being able to soothe and understand why your baby won't settle. I could go on and on with reasons why it happens. Had you expected to feel this complete and utter horrific rage at your little one when you became a mum? Probably not. It comes very unexpected to most. And it's such a strange emotion to feel towards someone who is so innocent. And it's also such a scary thing because it goes hand in hand with a feeling of being out of control, of not being in control towards someone innocent who you are responsible for and supposed to be taken care of and supposed to love instead of shout at or maybe, God forbid, grab a little too hard or feel like shaking him or her. And all of a sudden you can almost understand why somebody shook their baby too hard. It's a terrible thought. Because every sane person knows that that is absolutely not done. No sane person would ever in their right mind do this. So does that now mean that something is wrong with your sanity? Are you fit to be this small human being's parent? And hey presto, self-doubt and shame creeps in, and not very surprisingly, these are the exact emotions that can trigger lots of mental health issues like anxiety and can exacerbate it. This is a subject that many of you watching this video may have thought about and feel or felt terrible about, but you most likely have never shared it with anyone. Now, please know that this video is not to judge. It's to let you know that you are not alone in feeling this way. Parenthood is hard. Opening up about struggles can be really hard. Feeling like a failure is hard. Feeling out of control, even if it's just for a small moment, but very, very nasty moment around your little one, and feeling like a terrible parent for losing it around your wee one, that's just insanely horrible. So I genuinely hope that it helps to know that you are not, and I want to repeat, you are not alone. You're not the only one experiencing this. That is one thing that is absolutely 100% true. People just are too ashamed often to talk about it. I just hope that we can be less judgmental of each other so that we do feel that we can open up about these issues more. A problem shared is a problem halved. And my hope for anyone suffering from this, my genuine hope, is that knowing you're not alone, that thought alone can be the catalyst for getting less enraged next time. Now that would be ideal. You see, it's just an absolute blatant lie that all mums are happy, joyfully floating through all those jobby nappies, sleepless nights, those lovey-dovey commercials that we get slapped around the face with of glowing, healthy-looking mums carrying their babes around with huge smiles on their makeup-free, healthy-looking faces. Those are the exceptions to the rules. That's a complete fantasy. Stress, insecurity, exhaustion, overwhelm, anxiety. For many, unfortunately, that is the reality. Maybe not for each and every moment of each and every day, but those moments, they truly suck. And in those moments, that's when we show the very, very worst of ourselves. And I do want to stress that if it's like this each and every day, 24/7, then do please reach out to professionals for help if you haven't already. But For most of us, these are only moments during a week, maybe moments during a day, and moments after which we feel terrible guilt. And that is exactly what they are. They are moments of feeling helplessness, feeling shocked at the unexpectedness of these overwhelming emotions that cause you to fly off the handle in rage. And please remember, you are only human. It is a response that many parents will give at some point during parenthood. You're not alone in how you react. And the fact that you feel so terrible afterwards, that says very clearly that you care very much about your child or your children. And I'm not saying here, go do it again, it's fine. You are only human. I want for it to try and help you to feel less like you're a monster. And I would love to give you some tips to help you through this rage, which hopefully you can think of these tips next time before you snap. Now, my first tip, when it's happened, try and look back at what made it happen. What were the circumstances? Maybe write them down as you may be able to see a pattern. Now, I'll give a personal example as I started to see a pattern in myself. Having to clean the house. Oh, I hate that. I hate doing that. It always gave me lots of stress. I had slight OCD issues, and they made me feel guilty and annoyed and stressed. And those were often the moments for me when I would react to the kids in rage for no reason, even sometimes. Definitely some of my worst moments, but I was lucky enough to get help and to see a pattern. And to see a pattern was really helpful to break it. And another tip I'd like to give you. First of all, always make sure that your child is safe. Put him or her down safely, walk away. Take a pillow with you, go to a different room and have a good shout into that pillow. All your frustrations, shout it into the pillow. That can be really cathartic. Being in a different space, that can help in itself to calm yourself down and take a few moments to yourself. Also, try to remind yourself to breathe. Breathing really helps. And I often use the boxed breathing technique. Some boxed breathing, that's one of my favorite. It means that you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then repeat the cycle, and try and repeat the cycle at least 3 or 4 rounds or more until you're feeling more calm within yourself. Boxed breathing is apparently used in the Navy to calm down and to stay focused during tense situations. So you can imagine that could help in one of these situations, but there are many ways of breathing that can help. So long as you focus on a way of getting your breathing to normalize, that focus alone will distract you from your negative emotions and will help you to settle and calm down. Another helpful technique that you could apply is the butterfly hug. This is a self-soothing exercise, and it's designed for calming yourself when you're feeling angry, sad, or hurt, or when you're panicking. It's an easy calming technique which can be used anytime, anywhere, and it's a good way to calm down your overactive nervous system. And it goes like this. Cross both your arms over your chest and place each hand over your shoulder. Now gently begin tapping each hand at a time on your arms, like so. If you can, close your eyes and try to breathe normally. Now, by crossing your arms, you're crossing the middle line of your body, and by tapping, you're activating first the right, then the left part of your brain in turn. And because you've crossed over, you're now confusing your brain, basically, which disables it of thinking and feeling for a bit. That's sort of the simple explanation. But you can see how if it's distracting away from the anger and turning off your feelings for a bit, not feeling all those emotions as much, For example, the sensation of the loud crying of your baby, that could help settle you down. Now, this grounding technique can also be done maybe with both arms crossed over your legs and tap on your legs, if that's easier for you. There's different ways of doing it, so you could basically do it anywhere. What you're actually doing is sort of a mini EMDR session on yourself, and I'll talk more about EMDR sessions in a different video. If you find your trigger being loud noise, then you could also do a little Google search to find yourself some ear blocking things. Not noise cancelling, obviously, unless it really is terrible noise, but some noise blocking could do the trick to rein in that anger attack before it explodes. And another tip is to use your senses to get back to your senses, basically. And for example, the sense of smell. If you try to focus on something, some scent that you love, for example, your favorite perfume, you could smell it, and that in itself could calm yourself down. Or you could lie down on the floor on your back and make sure as many body parts touch the floor. This can also help regulate that oversensitive nervous system, and all your feeling sensors, all your skin, everything is now being activated to feel the ground. It's a great distraction for your brain. And when lying there, try to tell yourself you are thinking straight. This moment will pass. You just need a moment. And preferably tell yourself this out loud, as again your senses, in this case the sense of hearing, your ears, will kick in and again help you regulate. Sometimes this exercise, which triggers all your senses, can help. Feel 3 different things. For example, feel the fabric of your clothes. That's a sense of touch, feeling clothes. Feel maybe the wall behind you, and feel, for example, your hair. Now that's triggering your senses of touch. Then try and look at 3 different things. For example, look at the clock for a moment. Then look at your hand palm. Then look at the couch. Your sight as one of your senses is now used again to try and help you calm your senses. Then try and hear 3 different things, like maybe a clock ticking, listen for cars outside, listen to a song on the radio, ticking of a pipe somewhere, whatever. Try and focus on that with your ears. Senses of sound, again, can help you calm everything down, distract you far enough away from that rage. And if you're able to do this, then try to do another round of feeling, seeing, and hearing, but now only 2 items instead of 3. So for example, only feel your hair and feel your skin, or feel the fabric, 2 things. Then only listen out for the clock and for cars outside. And then only look at the couch and look at your hand palm. Then do another round with only 1 item. And then tell yourself out loud how much you have calmed down on a scale from 1 to 10. Again, do this out loud to trigger the sense of hearing. And hopefully by now you can tell yourself out loud that you've calmed your senses enough to think normally and to carry on normally. And once you feel that you've calmed down enough, you could also use your voice, to literally tell yourself, I have calmed down and I'm now going to apologize to my little one. Even if they don't understand what you're telling them, it can be soothing to the both of you, and it triggers your brain to stay in a lower level of emotions compared to the enraged emotions that you were in before. Try not to beat yourself up too much if you can only think of these things until after you snap. Don't be too hard on yourself, because part of this is building up of pressure that you need to get out of your system, and that's making you snap. And now you're starting to trigger your brain into thinking about building it back down. Be nice to yourself. Remember, nobody is perfect, not even those yummy mummies who seem to have it all together. And I can guarantee you, even they have their shitty moments. There's no doubt about it. And it's okay not to be okay. You're doing an incredibly hard job. So find someone you love and to trust and talk about it. I wish you the best of luck.